Hi there, everybody. Thanks for visiting LankSports.com. Keith Schweigert and Jeff Reinhart here with a preview of the District 3 Class AAA semifinal matchup between Bishop McDevitt and Lampeter-Strasburg. This game's going to kick off Friday night at 7 in Lampeter. I'm going to be blogging live from the game for LankSports.com. And Jeff, McDevitt, I think everyone in the preseason was sort of looking at the Crusaders as, you know, the pick to go ahead and win the district. They're dropping down from Quad A to AAA this year. Everybody knows, it seems like every year they go into the postseason with a lot of expectations on them. This year is no exception. As I mentioned, back in August, everyone was just penciling them into the finals, and here they are. LS, on the other hand, no one really knew what to expect from them moving up to Section 2 from Section 3. They blow everybody away by winning the section in their first year there. Came in as the number 2 seed and have really rolled through the postseason so far. Tough matchup here, though. I mean, McDevitt is absolutely loaded. As I mentioned, you know, everyone was expecting them to be here. They have a very good offense. Last week they knocked off Hershey 63-0. It's 42-0 at the half. The week before, you know, they won 45-24, but it was 45-0 at the break. So, you know, they've just been rolling through the playoffs here. Just an incredible offense. 340 yards per game, split almost evenly, you know, on the ground and through the air. 34 points per game for the McDevitt offense. Of course, the best player on the offense, probably the running back, Jamil Poteet. Quarterback, Matt Johnson, also very good. Poteet has 1,300 yards and 26 touchdowns on 252 carries this year.
He's probably out in the third quarter most weeks.
Yeah, and 23 catches for 258 yards and 3 scores. So he can do it to you both on the ground and through the air. Johnson, very good season for him. 131 of 208 for 1,939 yards and 16 touchdowns, 3 picks. So he's very good at running that offense. They have a pretty good receiver, and he's a sophomore, Brian Lamel. 43 catches for 740 yards, 5 touchdowns. Thing that's scary about McDevitt is their defense is equally impressive. They're giving up 190 yards a game, only 86 through the air. And the player to watch, obviously, their defensive end, Noah Spence, he's a junior, 6'4", 240, and last week he got offered from USC. So obviously he's the real deal.
He's unbelievable. 15 sacks.
Yeah, 15 sacks this year. He's a stud. He's the first guy you got to look to game plan around if you're the LS offense. You know, McDevitt has allowed more than 2 touchdowns just 3 times all season. And during the winning streak, the only time they've given up more than 2, they've won 8 straight. The first-round playoff game where they gave up 24 in the second half against their backups was the only time anybody scored more than twice against them during their current streak. So they are loaded and they are rolling, and here they come into Lampeter. So what do the Pioneers have to do here?
Score a lot. Matt Johnson, the quarterback's gone to Bowling Green. Poteet's gone to Pitt. These guys are very legit. But they haven't won a district title in a while. We were talking about this. It just seems like they're here every year, but then they just have that game. I mean, they were supposed to win Quad A last year. They were loaded and stacked, and then lose to Cumberland Valley in the final. So,
although losing to Cumberland Valley,
that's not a bad thing, at all. But I mean, they turned the ball over a couple times, and they didn't play a McDevitt kind of a game. So,
but you're right. It seems like for how good they've been year after year, and how much expectations they have year after year, they've won a lot of district games, and I believe it's 7 championships. But when you factor in all the times where they've been heavy favorites and come up small, you know, it just seems like they're capable of blowing a game like this.
I've been told by the guys who cover them that when Bishop McDevitt plays its A game, forget it. But when they play their B game, you got a chance. So I think LS has got to score. They got to match them. LS has got to keep its offense on the field and definitely score, because McDevitt's going to score. They have over 100 points in 2 games, which is silly. Ball control for LS. Run the wing T, pound it out on the ground, see if you can sustain drives. Got to score. I mean, I know this Spence kid coming off the end is going to be a handful to contend with, but LS has really got to score here. And hey, like you said, they're playing well. They beat Big Spring, put up 41 points on them, and they beat Manheim Central last week in the rematch, 25-20. So obviously LS has some good vibes. They got the mojo going on. They're at home. And we talked about this too. They're in the Final Four in District 3, man. They're legit and they're playing good football. So you just can't say, McDevitt's going to win. I mean, this is...
I'm
they
sure
got to play. I mean,
I'm sure there are a lot of people that are writing them off too. You know, possibly us included. But that's the kind of thing that a team can rally around.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not. I think McDevitt is a heavy favorite. I'm going to pick them.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it's impossible that LS puts together a great effort and wins this game.
No, not at all. And we both picked Mannheim last week to beat them, and they took care of them. So LS's defense has been good. They're only giving up still 230 yards a game, and they're turning people over. So they're going to need to pick Johnson. They're going to need to strip Poteet. They're going to need to get a lead and sit on it and score, I think, is huge for them because McDevitt's not going to get shut out here. It's not going to happen.
I think the key for LS is keep it close early and maybe let that pressure start to mount a little bit on McDevitt because, longtime McDevitt fans know, again, their playoff history is littered with games like this where they come in as heavy favorites and struggle and sometimes get knocked out. I think if LS can keep it close, if they can withstand, maybe McDevitt's early flurry and put some points up themselves and keep this game if the game's close by halftime, I think LS has an excellent chance of winning it in the second half. Sure. However, if McDevitt comes out and rolls out to 2 or 3 touchdown lead early on, maybe trouble there.
Yeah, and we mentioned Spence. We got to mention Christian Del Rossini for LS. He's got 12.5 sacks. He's got 10 quarterback hurries. He's got 20 tackles for losses. So as Spence is going to chase Nate Shank, Del Rossini's going to chase Johnson. So if they can get Johnson out of whack, maybe get him throwing on the run or throwing off his back foot. I like LS's corners. Pugliese and Lopez can make plays. Lopez made the pick last week to seal it against Mannheim. So I don't want to write LS off here. I don't because they have playmakers and depth and athletes. We've been talking about it for 12 weeks now. But McDevitt's the favorite here. You throw the records and the seeds out. McDevitt's got to be the favorite here. I mean, they're chiseled and they're veterans and they've been here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Crusaders as well. Although, like I said, that's why they play the game.
That's why you play the game, sure.
You can't tell.
But yeah, McDevitt's got to be the favorite here going in. Got to be. I don't want to pick a score quite yet, but I think McDevitt's got to be the favorite.
Yep. Well, we'll see how it all works out on Friday night. And if you can't make it down to the game, be sure to join me for the live blog on Lanksports.com. I'll be bringing you all the action on the field. Jeff will be at the other semifinal involving an LL League team as Cocalico goes up to Conrad Weiser. We'll be updating scores from across the district, both on our live blogs and on the ticker that goes across the top of the main page. And when all the finals are in, Jeff and I will recap every bit of Friday night's action on our Friday night wrap-up video. Thanks again for visiting Lanksports.com. Have a great Thanksgiving and enjoy the game on Friday.